I'm Padma Srinivasan and I'm applying for the National Award for Teachers instituted by the MHRD. About the innovative experiments and done by me as a teacher of history in DPSR Kippuram. In education today, the students' involvement in studies refers to the degree of observation, inquisitiveness, interest, optimism, and passion that the students show when they are learning or being taught, and which further extends to the level of motivation they show to learn and progress in their lives to build a better future. When students are engaged in the learning process, they learn more and retain longer if it has a lasting impact on the student. And this kind of motivation and learning takes place only when a teacher teaches a subject innovatively and merges the regular classroom teaching with real life experiences. What do you know about Gautam Buddha? You must have heard of Gautam Buddha. So let's begin by finding out what do you know about Gautam Buddha? Yes, Lavanya, is it ninth incarnation of Vishnu? That's a good one. Yes. Why do you call him an incarnation of Vishnu, Arnav? He was so virtuous. That's why. Why you don't want to unmute today? You don't want to unmute and that he was compared to the deity. Okay, that's what he says on his online submission. Yes, Mansi Ahuja says he was a philosopher and a meditator, and he's the founder of Buddhism, according to Anya Mandal. Yes. Anything else? Trisha says religious leader. Yes.
Ma'am, he was also the prince of a particular place, and after seeing all of the poverty and all of the
Yes. Okay. Ultimate reality for him was present issues. That's what she says. Arnav says he was a prince of Lumbini. Yes, Kapilavastu. Yes. And he was born in Lumbini. And he was born into the Shakya clan. Absolutely. Yes. And we have done that Shakya clan was a Republican tribe. So he was a Kshatriya who belonged to the Republican tribe, namely the Shakyas. That's why he is given the name of Shakyamuni. Now, Buddha means someone who has woken up to reality. Yes, preach to lead an honest and a compassionate life. So Gautam Buddha was born to the king and queen of Kapilavastu. He was known as Prince Siddharth, and he was born around 566 BCE. So when he was born, the astrologer told everybody that he's going to be somebody who's going to be a saint, and he will abdicate the throne and give up all the worldly pleasures. His parents, Shuddhodana and Maya Devi, were shattered, and they decided to prevent this from happening by keeping a close watch on him and sheltering him from the outside world. So, now let's understand what this turning wheel of law is. Before that, there are many monuments which are associated with him. Ajanta, Ellora, Kanheri, Karle Caves, Sanchi, Amaravati. Many of these things we'll be studying later and finding out a little bit about their architecture, especially the Sanchi stupa. Now, Gautam Buddha passed away at Kushinagara in 483 BCE, and the Bodhi tree is still worshipped. I think I've told you the story of how the Bodhi tree went to Sri Lanka, and the current Bodhi tree, which is now located at Bodh Gaya, is a tree which had grown from the branch of the Bodhi tree in Sri Lanka, and it was brought back over here because the Turkish invasion had completely destroyed Bodh Gaya. Now, let's see where these places of Buddhist pilgrimages are. Before that, tell me about the story of Buddha. Why do you think all these sights which he saw made him feel so disturbed? Yes.
Personally think he was a very empathetic and also a philosophical person. And the sights that he saw just made him realize that this is a path that he does not want to follow. Even if he's born into it, he chose not to follow it.
Mm. Yes, he was born into luxury, but he was a person who had a lot of feelings. Yes, Vandya?
Also, probably because of the kind of sophisticated environment he used to stay in, he never knew anything apart from luxury. So it was his first
Mm.
experience seeing people in such misery, and that would definitely affect any person.
Yeah. So that was yet another very important development in his life. And anything else? Any other comments? Arnav, Ashita, Arya, or anyone else? Quickly.
Ma'am, ma'am, probably he had never seen any sort of misery or pain, and when he saw it, he realized that these things exist in the world, and probably to eradicate them or just to provide peace to the world, he tried to follow a
Yes. He
compassionate
never,
life.
absolutely. He had been kept away from these kinds of pains deliberately because of that prediction which had been made about him, that he's somebody who will either turn out to be a person who is greatest king of the world or the greatest seer of the world. If you really see, the prediction was not really wrong. Till date, we do discuss Buddha and his teachings, and they're still relevant to the world today. But let's move on to see the various places on a Google map. The places which are important for him is an interesting exercise. I want you to go through it. We are going to be first looking at the birthplace of Buddha, the exact place of birth. What is the birthplace of Buddha? Anyone? You mentioned it earlier.
Ma'am, Lumbini.
Lumbini, yes. Where is Lumbini located in? Which country? Is it in India or elsewhere?
Nepal.
Nepal.
It's in
Nepal.
Nepal. Yes, it is disputed. India wants it in India, and while it's disputed, and it's one of the most traveled places apart from all other places associated with Christianity. This is one of the most traveled places in the world. So, isn't it interesting that you're looking at this exact place of Buddha here? Yes, we have come to the next one, which is Bodh Gaya. What is Bodh Gaya all about?
It's the place where he attained enlightenment.
Yes, come again, Upasana.
It's the place where he attained enlightenment.
He delivered his first sermon at Sarnath. Yes, a very important place located near Varanasi. It's a stone throw from Varanasi, 10 kilometers. And it's a very important place once again. And it is there that you have your the national emblem also. It was originally on a pillar, and now it has been kept over there in the museum.
Unnecessary religious practices don't matter. It's actually about the faith and belief within your mind.
Yes, he is. He is always Buddha has always protested against rituals, meaningless rituals. Isma is absolutely right. Anratha, it primarily means the Teris are those people who are the enlightened ones. And this lady, even though she was a slave woman, she was the enlightened woman. And it is her story. Okay, she's the one who is the main karta of the story. What do you think this particular stone sculpture depicts?
Now it's the lady in the story.
Yes, she's the lady of this story. Okay, thank you. Today we will be studying about Gandhiji and the nationalist movement. It is given as theme 13 in the third history textbook prescribed by the NCERT for class 12. I'm going to try and present this lesson as a Dastane Gandhi in the Dastan Goi style of storytelling, which is generally performed by Dastan Goes or storytellers in Urdu. And this style of storytelling was first done by Dastan Goi in the 13th century. So let's now do Dastane Gandhi. His arrival blessed the soil of India. He showed us the path and awakened the country from its deep slumber. He was a true patriot who lived for his country and died for it too. He was Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi, whom you now know as Bapu and Mahatma Gandhi. From his childhood, Mohandas had a great faith in himself. There was a lot of determination in him. He also had striking confidence. Whatever he set his mind to, he would always achieve it. And once he decided to do something, he would never go back on it. One day, Mohandas shocked his family when he said he wanted to go and study in England and return from there as a big barrister. Listening to this, silence engulfed the Gandhi household, and his mother almost fainted. But the son was stubborn. Everyone knew that he is not going to back off. A Jain monk lived nearby, and his mother went to him and said, "Sire, please knock some sense into Mohan. Give him some advice. Even do give any remedies if the situation requires." The sadhu said, "This child is going to fly high. Do not stop his flight. Let him do whatever he wants to do." The mother, very helpless, said, "Okay then, ask him to take a vow at least, that he will never eat meat, nor will he ever touch an English woman." And so, in 1888, Mohandas arrived in England. He stayed there for 3 years and prospered quite a lot. At first, he was a gentleman who loved to dance and sing. But then, he had a change of heart. He began to read Gita and Ramayana. Then he started searching for the truth from the Bible and Quran. He also acquired a wealth of knowledge from every possible human being around him.